Look at us. Who thought we'd be here? Not me. What's up? This is Mr. Burke. That's me. Welcome to the video for public speaking, going over the syllabus. This is for the distance learners. If you are not a full-time distance learner, don't watch this video because you're going to have me in your face in a couple days going over the same information. But for you distance learners that I will never see in class, this video is for you. So here we are in Schoology. This is the landing page for everything we do in this class. We're on course information, public speaking syllabus. Click on that. It's going to open up this Google Doc. This is the syllabus. You're in 11th grade. You know what a syllabus is. Ooh, I have somebody coming in my class. Mr. Baki. All right. Welcome back. Sorry, I had to test out the pause button, have a quick conversation with Dean Baki. But here we go. Syllabus, contact information. Okay, right here, the best way to get a hold of me is through email. So you want to send an email to this email right here, ben.burke@isd194.org. That's the quickest and most efficient way to get a hold of me. If you want to call me, here's my school phone number. You're more than welcome to call me, but it'll probably be a few days before I call you back, just because I don't have the time to constantly be on that phone. But email, very accessible. So there you go. Course description. Here's what we're going to do in this class. This class is a semester-long course designed to teach you how to be a better public speaker. We're going to emphasize public speaking. We're going to learn everything there is to know about it as much as we can. And we're going to give a lot of speeches. The goal is that by the time that you leave this class, you've given enough speeches and practiced and learned some things that you are more comfortable than you were when you got here. Some of you may hate public speaking right now, and you're thinking, why did I even sign up for this class? Some of you are probably thinking, it's not that big a deal, and I'm just going to wing it. The goal is to get you people that are a little bit scared of public speaking a little bit more comfortable, and also the people who think they can just wing it. Hopefully we'll give you some methods to prepare to actually make you a better speaker, because they're being totally afraid is not going to produce a good speech, and neither is winging it. So we're going to bring you all to the middle where you're well prepared and you're also comfortable. We're going to do things like weekly speaking. We're going to deliver some major speeches that take a lot of organization and preparation. We're going to do some research. We're going to learn how to use visual aids and things like slideshows and other technology. We're going to develop our critical listening skills to hopefully evaluate messages that other people say, and then use the media center and databases and things like that. That's a core component of your 11th grade year, is research and doing formal research. So we'll use that in our class. And then in collaboration, peer feedback, rhetorical analysis is what I mentioned earlier, where you're looking at the way speeches are made and developing them to be more persuasive or more informative, depending on what your speech goal is. So that's kind of the course as an overview. Here's the behavior expectations. This is new for you 11th graders. So we have a behavior matrix, which this is what a matrix looks like, a big table. But we've kind of identified some core behaviors that we're looking for every student to display as a learner and a person in our school community. So, and that even goes for the people in distance learning, because at some point you'll be back here, and we've got some things for you that we want you to be considerate of as you're a distance learner. So we display these things by being thoughtful, responsible, and safe. In every aspect of being a learner, we want you to be thoughtful, responsible, and safe. So as a thoughtful student in distance learning, are you communicating your needs with your teacher? Are you attending WebEx online sessions? Are you doing your work? Are you appropriately dressed? That's not to say that we need you in a tuxedo, but we also don't want you in your pajamas all day long. So that's kind of being thoughtful around those areas, thinking about it ahead of time and applying, good sound logic to that sort of thing. Being responsible, being prepared with your assignments, completing your assignments on time, using WebEx only for school use, being responsible to my work and to turning things in on time and everything else like that. And then being safe. And this you think safety, you think of like bodily harm, but that's true, but it's not necessarily what we're talking about. We're talking about making a safe community where people feel safe to share their thoughts and feelings. And that goes for everybody, no matter what your thoughts and feelings are. We want to make the space safe for you to be able to share that stuff, because that's how we all grow and learn. So we want to honor everybody, honor their voices, honor their perspectives. That means we don't roll our eyes and we don't have negative facial expressions, and we support each other and we learn and we grow. Teacher expectations. My job is to prepare an environment where you can do those things, where you can learn, you can improve as a speaker, as a listener, as a learner. So if I'm not doing that for you specifically, we need to have a conversation about what we can do to make sure that's happening. And so I'm totally committed to making sure that happens for you. But sometimes there's things that we don't do, not because we're not trying to, we just don't know, or something like that. So you got to be a communicator with me. Don't have an ego about that. I don't. So whatever you need is we're going to try to get for you. For class materials and supplies, you need your iPad. Everything from this class is going to be digital, with the exception of giving speeches. Unless you're a distance learner, which you are, then you'll be using your iPad to give speeches too. So you got to make sure that you are well-versed in that. You're well-versed in the technology that we're using. We'll spend some time trying to learn that stuff, but it's important that you know how to use your iPad and the apps on that thing. So you can use Google Docs and Schoology, and Notability is a new one that you'll be learning. So we're going to work through all that stuff. But Google Drive and Schoology are the two important ones. But we'll learn a lot more, and hopefully you'll be able to use that device as a way to help your learning, and it'll be a good thing. This class really values being a safe space to learn. I said it earlier, I'm going to say it again. Be mindful of how your words and actions affect other people. That's the key. Our differences make us better. The collective group of us are going to learn from each other. We're going to learn from the other speakers. We're going to learn from our experience as a speaker, all that stuff. We just want to make sure we're using it to our advantage. Attendance has to be taken. You'll have a way to take attendance as a distance learner. You got to make sure that you're doing that every day and that you're checking Schoology every day. This isn't a class where you're only taking class Monday or Wednesday. You got to sign in every day and see what I have for you. If you're not doing that, you're going to fall behind. So you got to make sure you do it. And you stay on top of what this class is all about. Assignments have to be turned in before the end of each unit. That you'll have some wiggle room in the time up until the last day. In this class, it's most of the time it's a speech. So let's say we're in Unit 1 and we go through all the work and you don't turn anything in. And then the speech comes and you give your speech and you say, hey, Mr. Burke, can I turn in all this late work? I'm going to say no. If you turn it in before your speech, you're great. Doesn't matter if it's a week late or whatever, you'll get full credit. But if you try to turn things in after the test or speech or major assessment of that unit, no go. So you have to make sure everything is turned in before the speech. And that's the speech day, not when you give your speech. So don't think that you can delay giving your speech to get your homework done. It's the day that speeches start. All of your missing work is due. If you don't turn it in before the day that speeches start, or whatever test or whatever else we're taking, it's not worth anything after that. Along with that, you're expected to turn in your own work. I don't need to see you copying other people's learning or trying to plagiarize the speech. It's really easy to catch that stuff for me. So making sure you're doing your own work, and you can collaborate all you want, but the work that you turn in, the speeches that you give, have to come from your brain. They can be informed by other things, but at the end of the day, it has to be your work. If it's not, it'll just end up costing you credit for the assignment. No half points and nothing. If you are taking a risk and trying to plagiarize anything, it's just a straight up 0. Speaking order is totally random. I used to not take volunteers. I've started to take a little bit more volunteers. It just kind of depends on the class. If you're somebody who wants to volunteer, that's, we can talk one-on-one about that. But basically what happens is I will put everybody's name into a random generator, generate those names, and that'll be the speech order. And your name will get called on a certain day, and you got to be ready to go. If you're mysteriously absent, it's going to be, 50% deduction basically. As a distance learner, some of these things don't really apply because you're going to end up making a video and sending it to me. The way this would work is if we had scheduled for you to be on a WebEx and you just totally blow me off, that's when you're going to lose credit. Otherwise, if you're just making a video, it has to be turned in by the due date. Grades in this class, the way it works is 45% of your grade is first quarter, 45% is your second quarter, and then 10% is the final exam. That's a pretty consistent thing that a lot of teachers do. It balances out the workload a little bit and helps you kind of plan, but that's basically how we do it. I put all the grades in Infinite Campus, and here's the grading scale. It's the same one that every teacher in the building uses, so you should be familiar with that. There's some extra learning opportunities, extra credit. These can only be completed if you have all your work turned in. So let's say you're on a B- and you want to get an A, and you say, hey, what can I do? I say, well, you have to have your work turned in. If you have a bunch of missing assignments and you're trying to boost your grade, there's nothing I can do because you didn't take the time to do the work that you were supposed to do. But if you have all your work done, let's say I turned in all my assignments, but my speech scores aren't as high as I want them to be, and I'm sitting at like a B, then you can do one of these special, extra credit things, make another speech, watch a State of the Union, things like that. That's how you earn extra credit. These will always be in the syllabus. Sometimes kids forget, and then when they ask what they can do, this is where I'll point them. But again, like I said, you have to have all your work complete in order to do that. So don't forget to turn in work. Last thing is the frequently asked questions. If there's stuff in this syllabus that you're not totally on board with, you're not sure, and you have questions, use this link to visit the FAQ. If it's not in here and you have other questions, this might happen as a distance learner. Things will probably come up that we haven't thought about. But if that's the case, just shoot me an email, and then I'll hopefully answer your question. And that's going to be the biggest thing as a distance learner. We have to communicate, have an open communication with each other. The best way to do that is either through WebEx or through email. And so we'll be doing that usually every Wednesday as distance learners, the day that I'm going to try to reach out to you and connect via WebEx or something like that. So be aware of that, and then just check your Schoology every day, and we'll do our best to make sure you're getting the same experience as every other kid. All right, end of the syllabus video.